let me bring in Manjunath at this point. We heard Sucharita talk about challenges, and we heard Obrojit talking about how March 22nd it became a day of infamy, so to say. So from the perspective of where we were, can you enlist some of the roadblocks that you faced in your digitization journey at Stumpp Somappa Springs? How did you overcome them?
Sure, Gautam. Thanks for having us here. So I think at Stumpp and Somappa, I think our business, we were predominantly in manufacturing. And so all the roadblocks that we have faced, we needed to look at it from that point of view. So there was very little scope for digitization to enable a work from home environment. However, once the lockdown started and people, were getting used to the restrictions and the way of getting to office, one thing that people also felt was they wanted to have some way to work productively even under these circumstances. So all our, the intent of our digitization was to help our employees improve their productivity and to make sure that the production line is still running. So kind of a little similar to what Abhijit and Rishi were saying, that when you're coming from a production background, the way you have to address this issue was slightly different. So for example, on the production line, we had to look at digitization in terms of automating certain repetitive tasks, in terms of improving machine utilization, and also in terms of automating certain quality processes. So once we had all these things in place, people felt more confident that yes, even though there is a lockdown going on and there are so many challenges both in the office as well as at home, this digitization was empowering them to move ahead and to meet the production targets. So I think that was the whole idea behind going for digitization. Now, coming to the roadblocks that we had faced, pre-digitization, or maybe to give you a little background, so we use a lot of CNC machines on our shop floor, and CNC machines being quite expensive equipment, it becomes important to make sure that they are being utilized efficiently. And pre-digitization, people were finding it quite challenging to really reach the sweet spot of utilizing it to the right extent in the right manner to achieve the right productivity levels. So what we did was we introduced IoT solutions for monitoring how these CNC machines are used and for helping our employees get the best productivity out of it. So some of the roadblocks was, for example, raw material loading and moving of materials from one station to the other, then operating the machines at the right speeds or RPM levels, and also automating some part of the product quality monitoring. So once we put in these IoT-based solutions, I think, and the employees saw that yes, it is really helping us improve the productivity of these machines, and that gave them a big boost to their confidence. So that was one way where digitization really helped us. Besides that, I think a little similar to as what Rishida was saying, uh, we had a lot of documents which we were doing, physical signatures, where we were having a lot of purchase orders, invoices, going through the physical signature process. And this was, of course, mandatory. You can't bypass this. But once we brought in digitization, we also brought in automation of bulk signatures digitally. And that really helped to speed up the process. A lot of time you spend doing all this paperwork, you can rather put into doing the other parts of your work. And this really helped us. But all said and done, in hindsight, it's easy to say this, but at that time when there is a lockdown going on and IT teams are working from home and trying to get all these things together, I think it was just a lot of support and cooperation from all the employees that finally helped us get this done. And it's really very easy to say now, maybe 18 months after everything is over, but at that time it was really a challenge.
Really.